5.
Shalom, Israel. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana, and this is the Saturday service. I'm Priest and Officer of 50 Yaron, and this is Priest and Officer of 50 Napash Kaya, and we are here to teach the Sabbath day service and get back to the ways, our biblical ways. All right, so this is a class where we read the Hebrew and we break down what's going on in the Bible, okay? And with that, go ahead and Mata behind here. Mosar, state your registry.
Marsar.
Oh, Salaki.
Marsar. Banya Howder, Banya Shara.
Mosar, Banya Hauda, Banya Shal.
Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Rastah.
Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Barakatah. Okay, yeah. Blow that horn again. Good job.
La Yashara.
We're gonna send up the prayers. Got it for you. We used to doing this. Got it. Upon Hakwadam means to face the east. Imagine upon Hakwadam, which means stand and face the east.
You go to the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanaw. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Ayah. Shemkah. Yahweh.
Malakuka.
Taba'ah. Ratazayaka. Ayah. Asha.
Baratazah.
Kawah. Ayah. Bashamayim. Latoninaw. Lakam. Cow. Yawam. Wasanakinaw. Kawapinaw. Kasnakinaw. Kawapinaw. Wala'ah. Tabayayinaw. Marashaya 1. Abal. Awashaynaw. Mayan. Ra. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Hamatao Paura. La'ai Walayam. Amon.
This is the Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. We forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
Here comes the power in Hebrew. Yahweh Bashem Yahshua.
Baba Shah.
Latoninaw. Hakak. La power. Kal Makala. Wakal Madawa. Hakak. La Tahar. Ha Matazarayam. Hakak. Halakwayam. Hamatayam. Hakak. Al Rakawaf. Hatamala.
Hatamala.
Lagarashan.
Lagarashan.
Bashim Yahusha.
Bashir Yahusha.
The water among.
The water among. What? Good job, boy. This is the prayer for the power in English. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Give us the power.
Give us the power.
The power to heal all manner.
The power to heal all manner.
Of sickness.
Of sickness.
And all manner.
And all manner.
Of disease.
Of disease.
The power to heal. Salakia. The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
Cast them out.
Cast them out.
In the name of.
In the name of.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
You go Psalms 121 in Hebrew. Asha.
Asha.
Anyanya.
Ayanya.
Elaharayu.
Alahari.
Mayatan.
Mayatan.
Ya'aba.
Yahweh.
Azari.
Azari. Azari.
Ma'am.
Ma'ayim.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Asha.
Asha.
Shemaya.
Shemaya.
Ra'aratazah.
Ra'awataza.
Alatan.
Alatan.
Lamawat.
Lamawat.
Regalika.
Regalika.
Al-Nanawam.
Al-Nanawam.
Shamarika.
Shamarika.
Hana'ala'a.
Hana'ala.
Nanawam.
Nanawam.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yayashan.
Yayashan.
Sharamar.
Sharamar.
Yashala.
Yashala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarika.
Shamarika.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tazayika.
Tazayika.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Yamyanka.
Yamyanka.
Yarawam.
Yarawam.
Yashamash.
Yashamash.
La Yakanka.
Yayakanka.
Yarak.
Yarak.
Ba'ayala'a.
Bayayala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamarika.
Makarai.
Makarai.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Alpno Pasha.
Altabashka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Tazanka.
Tazanka.
Wabanka.
Wabanka.
Waita.
Wayata.
Wai Ilam.
Wa'ayalon. Good job, boy. Hey, Sluggy, give me a hand for that. Great job, boy. This is Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills.
I will lift up my eyes to the
From
hills.
whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from the Lord.
My help cometh from the Lord.
Which made heaven and earth.
Which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee.
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold.
Behold.
He that keepeth Israel.
He that keepeth
shall
Israel
neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
Nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee
The Lord shall preserve thee
from all evil.
from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
The Lord shall preserve thy going out
The Lord shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming
and
in
thy coming in
from this time forth
from this time forth,
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
You go Psalms 83 in Hebrew. Al-Hayim.
Al-Hayim.
Al-Damiyalka.
Al-Damiyalka.
Al-Dakarash.
Al-Dakarash.
Wa'al-Dashakwat.
Wa'al-Dashakwat.
Al.
Al.
Kahahana.
Kayahada.
Okay. Wabai Yabyaka.
Wayabika.
Come.
Wayabika.
Yahama Yawan.
Yahama Yaman.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Eli Amyaka.
Al-Imaka.
Ra'ai Ra Yamwa.
Ra'ai Rayamwa.
Sawada.
Sawada.
Wa'ata.
Wayata.
Wa'atazawar.
Wa'atazawar.
Al-Tazapawanyaka.
Al-Tazapawanyaka.
Amara.
Amara.
Lakakwa.
Makaba.
Yakakiyadam.
Yakakidam.
Bagalawa.
Magawa.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yasakar.
Yasakar.
Shumyashal.
Sham Yashal.
Awada.
Awada.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Wa'ai Tazawar.
Wa'ai Tazawar.
Laba.
Laba.
Lakakwa.
Lakagwa.
Ayanka.
Ayanka.
Baryaf.
Baryaf.
Yakawafwa.
Yakawafwa.
Alhaya.
Alahaya.
Adawam.
Adawam.
Ya Yashmai.
Ya Yashamai.
La'a Yam.
La'ayam.
Waba'aba.
Waba'aba.
Wagariam.
Wagarim.
Gabal.
Gabal.
Wa'amawan.
Wa'amawan.
Wa'amalak.
Wa'amalak.
Palashak.
Palashak.
Yashabya.
Yashabya.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Gum Ashawar.
Gambasawar.
Nalawa. Nalawa.
Nalawa.
Ma'ai.
Ma'ai.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Sarawai.
Zerawai.
Labayalawat.
Zabayalawat.
Selah.
Selah.
Ashalaham.
Ashalaham.
Kamadian.
Kamadian.
Kasaya Sarah.
Kasayasara.
Kayabin.
Kayabin.
Barakal.
Banakal.
Yakashwan.
Yakashwa.
Nashadamwa.
Nashadamwa.
Ba'ayan Da'ara.
Bayan Daira.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Daman.
Daman.
La'adama.
La'adam.
Shayatamwa.
Shayatamwa.
Nada.
Nada.
Yabawa.
Yamawa.
Kara.
Kara.
Wa Kazaapa.
Wakazawa.
Wa Kasaba.
Wakazaba.
Wa Kasatao.
Wakazata.
Mana.
Mana.
Cow.
Cow.
Nasa Yakamwa.
Nasa Yakamwa.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Amara.
Amara.
Narush.
Narush.
Nanawa.
Nanawa.
Af. Nanawa.
Nanawa.
Alhayam.
Alhayam.
Alhaya.
Alhayam.
Shayatamwa.
Shayatamwa.
Kagaria.
Kagaria.
Kakwash.
Kakwash.
Lapanya.
Lapanya.
Rakat.
Rakat.
Kaash.
Kaash.
The Arya Ya'ara.
The Ira Ya'ira.
Wa Kalaapia.
Wakalaabia.
Dalahat.
Dalahat.
Hala. Okay, so Ha Rayam.
Alright. Hurry.
Rayam.
Hurry.
Okay. Kan Dawampa.
Kanta Dapma.
Basa Ayaka.
Basa Irika.
Wabasa.
Wabasa.
Wapaanka.
Wabaanka.
Dabalayam.
Dabalayam.
Malaa.
Malaa.
Panayam.
Panyam.
Kwalawan.
Kwalawan.
Wala Babsha.
Wala Babusha.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yao.
Yahweh.
Yabashatwa.
Yabashabya.
Waya Bayayuwa.
Wala Bayanyo.
Aya.
Ayai.
Waya Kapawa.
Wayakapara.
Yawa.
Yawa.
Abadwa.
Abadwa.
Waya Daiwa.
Wayaida.
Kaya Ata. Kaya Ata.
Kayata.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Labayaka.
Nabayaka.
Ayla Yawan.
Allah the one.
Al Kaharataza.
Al Kaharataza. Hey, good job. Clap it up. Hey, that's a tough one right there. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. All right, it's Psalms 83 in English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Below. Thy enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate thee.
Have lifted up the head.
And lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel.
Against thy people.
Against thy people.
And consulted.
And consulted.
Against thy hidden one.
Against thy hidden one.
They have said.
They have said.
Come.
Come.
And let us cut them off.
And let us cut them off.
For being a nation.
For being a nation.
That the name of Israel.
That the name of Israel.
May be no more in remembrance.
Maybe no more in remembrance.
Where they have consulted together.
They have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
The
thee.
tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Moab.
Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
Hagarenes.
Baal.
Baal.
And Ammon.
And Ammon.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
The inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also joined with them.
Assur also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They hope the children of Lot.
Say, Lot.
Lot.
Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As the Sisera.
As the Sisera.
As the Jabins.
As the Jabin.
At the brook of
The
Kishon.
brook Kishon.
Which perished indoors.
Which perished indoors.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make the nobles like a red.
Like the nobles like a red.
And like Zeeb.
And like Zeeb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All their princes.
All their princes.
As Zabah.
As Zabah.
And Zamuna.
And Zamuna.
Who said.
Who said.
Let us take to ourselves.
Let's take to ourselves.
The house of Yahweh.
The house of
In
Yahweh.
possession.
Possession.
Oh my power.
Oh my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make it like a wheel.
As the stubble before the wind.
Snow before the wind.
As the fire burneth the wood.
Fire burns the wood.
And as the flame set the mountains on fire.
As the flame sets the mountains
To
on fire.
persecute them.
Persecute them.
With thy tempest.
With thy tempest.
And make them afraid.
Make them afraid.
With thy storm.
With thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill thy faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
So that they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
Oh Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
In trouble forever.
In trouble forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou.
That thou.
Whose name alone.
Whose name alone.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Are the most high.
Are the most high.
Of all the earth.
Of all the earth.
So always a turn. Shabbat means to be seated. pick up at Numbers 30 and 1. You want to read some of the Hebrew? You catch him up, pick him up when he fall up.
Come.
All right, to watch. We're going to start at Psalms 30 and 1.
Numbers 31.
Excuse me, Numbers 30 and 1. I don't know why Psalms on the 1. Right? Oh, yeah, I was studying that earlier. So it's a lot.
Yeah, I know. Talk. Doing it at times too. So you got that. Go ahead and read Numbers 31 about the Shah.
Okay. Why the bar? Masha Al Asha Washa Ra Asha Sha Ama Sa Ra
Yes. Hamasarath.
Banya.
Okay. Labanya. Sure.
Okay. Yasharla. Lamar.
Okay.
Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar.
Zat. Gabar. Ashar. Tazara. Yahwa.
Verse 2.
Yash. Not. Kaya. Ya. Yadar. Yahawa. Awa.
Okay, yeah, Awa.
Hashabai. Shabbat. Shabaya.
Shabbai. Not Shabbai.
The Ashar. Sorry.
No, Tar.
Tar. Tar. El.
What?
Ow. Napashar.
The Pashwa.
La.
That means no or shall not. La.
Where you were?
Yeah, verse 2, he at the first, second, third. He at the ending of the fourth line.
All
So
right,
he
so
at the last word of the
Numbers
fourth
30
line.
and 2 is where you are?
Come.
All right, go ahead.
At the last word of the fourth line.
The water.
Cow. wa. Kakao. Ayataza. Maparya.
Okay, it's Mawa.
Maparyawa.
That's it.
Ya Aisha. Ya Aisha.
It's Ya Asha.
Ya Asha.
All right, good job.
You think you can
Get number 3. Try to get number 3.
Okay. Yash. Washa. Kaya. Kaya. Sabar. Sadar. Nadar. Yahweh. Ma'ar. Sa'arwa. Asar. Baba. Babayath. Abaya'ah. Abayaha. Bana'ai. Raya. Banayara.
All right, good job.
Take over verse 4 and 7.
Hey, give me a hand, Bubba. All right, so go ahead and call it up, Bubba.
It's the book of verse 4. Okay. Book of Numbers, chapter 30, verse 4 in Hebrew. Let's see. Washamai. Bar Yaha. Off Na Darha. Ra'ai Taha. Ashar I Taha. Al Napash Ra Ha Karash. Okay, slow. Raha Karash. Laha Abba Yaha Wakwa Mawa Kal Na Dora Yaha Rakal Atar Ashar Atara Al Napash Ya Koyam. Verse 5. Wa Thumb Hi Na Yath Ibaya Hi Daha Bayawam Shamaywa Kal Na Daryaha Wa I Tahaya Ashar Ya Ta looks like Ya Taha Al Napash La'a Yakwashwan Wa Yahawah wa salak laha kaya ha na yas I ba yaha ata, verse 6. Yatam ya wa ya daha yaha la ayash wa nai dayaf daya al yaha awa ma ba saf Shapath ya ashar taha al napash, verse 7. Last verse. Waya Shemai I Yasha Bayai Wam Shamaywa Wa Ha Karyash La Laha Wa Kwa Mawa Na Dar Yaha Wa I Taha Ashar I Taha Al Napash Wa Kwamawa. Okay.
Good job. Clap it up. We're going to start from Numbers chapter 30, verse 1 in the English.
Numbers 30 and 1. And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded.
All right, so Moses is giving a commandment of the Lord to all the children of Israel. Okay, and this goes again to any Christian that is trying to say that, you know, this was given to everybody. It's not. It's telling you specifically here, as it does throughout the scriptures, that this was given to Israel. Go ahead. And that's why. Go ahead.
Verse 2. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth.
All right, so right there, stop right there, Baba Shah. So what is a bond? Go ahead, sis.
Is it a covenant?
It's a covenant, right? Like a contract, right? You know, in New York, it's you hear brothers say, "Hey, my word is bond." You know what I'm saying? And that tells you, with the people of the book, there's so many things that are in this Bible that we use, and we be the people that won't be in church, some of us, and still be using like our slangs. We still use crib. You know what I'm saying? It was so big for me in the 90s. Hey, I'm about to head to the crib. You know, New York, my word is bond. So bond is right. It's a covenant or hey, you come this way. Come this way. Water. A bond is a contract. That's right. And so it says, if a man vow, so what's a vow?
A promise.
A promise, right? A vow is, here in the UPK, a vow is when you get your name, get that oil on your head. You're taking a vow, right? And that vow is a bond between you and the Most High. All right? So that's what that is. So a vow is a promise. And here in the school, it's that oil on your head. You're accepting that. Okay? Go ahead. Salakia. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. And so once you come into this school and you get that oil on your head, hey sis, we at Numbers 30 and 2 right now. Once you come into the school and get that oil on your head, you are not to break that. You're not to leave the school and go back into the world. You're not to leave the school and join a fake Israelite group. You know what I'm saying? This is a bond. This is your word. All right. He shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeded out of his mouth. So if it come out of your mouth, yes, I accept this oil being poured on my head. I accept the vow. And I'm bounded to this. Everything that come out of your mouth that you say you're going to do, it should stand. Okay, that's what this is saying. Go ahead, next verse.
Verse 3. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth.
All right, hold up right there. So the same thing for a woman. If a woman bounds herself into a bond, all right, she takes a vow, and just like the man, it's going to tell you. Now it tells you here in her father's house in her youth. So it's a young sister, unmarried sister, in her father's house in her youth. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And her father hear her vow.
So the father hears the vow. He hears this vow she's making. So for example, say sister say, you know what? I'm going to bring food to the school to the school every Saturday. I'm gonna bring food no matter what the weather is, whatever. I'm gonna bring food to the school every Saturday. I'm committing that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
And her father is there hearing this. All right, go ahead.
And her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her.
So her father hears her saying this. Here's the sister saying this, and the father doesn't say anything about it. He has no argument, nothing to say about it. Go ahead.
Then all her vows shall stand.
If he has nothing to say about it, the vow shall stand. All right, this sister committed to this, it's going to stand because the father has not said anything against it. Go ahead, read next one.
Okay. And every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. Verse 5. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth.
So on that day, if the father say, hey, hold up, sweetie. You know you can't cook. You know you can't cook. Why are you trying to poison me, brother? But if the father has any kind of apprehension about it, or doesn't feel right, or think in any reason, he opens his mouth on that same day and says, you know what? No. Or, hey, why don't you think about this a little more? Or this, that, and the other. Okay? If he has anything where he comes against that, go ahead.
Now any of her vows or her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand, and the Lord shall forgive her because her father disallowed her.
All right, so the father has come against it, and he put a stop to that. All right, he didn't want to roll with it. The Lord's going to forgive her. The Lord's like, okay, look, your pops put a stop to this. All right, so I forgive you. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Verse 6. And if she had at all an husband, when she vowed or uttered out her lips, wherewith she bound her soul.
All right, so as Israel, we have practices we follow, our traditions, right, that we follow. One is, if a father has a daughter and a man wants to court that daughter, he needs to pay a dowry for that daughter. All right, and once the father accepts that dowry, that transactions take place, whatever. She is now shifted under to her man, her husband. Okay. So in here, and as if she had a husband, so now it's shifting. So she's now married. It's not necessarily the same sister. This is a sister that is married. Okay, she's no longer under her father's roof. She's married. She has a husband. And this is verse 6. And if she had at all an husband, when she vowed or uttered out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul. Go ahead, verse 7.
Okay. And her husband heard it, and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it, then her vows shall stand. and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand.
So it's basically the same thing with the father. So just like if the father heard it and didn't say anything, that vow is going to stand. All right. So if the husband hears it and doesn't say anything, that vow stands. All right. Because we got to remember. Give me. Pull it up in this Bible book shop. 1 Corinthians 11:3. 1 Corinthians 11:3. Got it?
All
right, go ahead and read that.
1 Corinthians 11:3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
All right. So the head of every man is Christ. We know this scripture in this school. All right, go ahead.
And the head of the woman is the man.
And the head of the woman is the man. That's why there's this process. If she's under her father and unmarried, the father has to say so on if she's going to keep that vow or not. Okay. And then if she's married, the husband says to say so. Go ahead.
And the head of Christ is God.
And the head of Christ is God. There's always order. And so important, order. Today, the Christian church does not promote order. They have it all backwards and twisted. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they continue to do things to promote the fall of the black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. All right, they make it so in corporations, sisters are able to get jobs that they may be qualified for, and also brothers are qualified for, but then the corporation gets a double kickback because the corporation gets a kickback for hiring a so-called minority, and then also if you hire a woman, that's additional funding you get from the government as a corporation. All right, and so even you see it in the church all the time. They promote the woman all the time. Also, I was talking about it the other day. They got coins coming out, right? They got the new the mint is printing is making more coins, and it has number sisters, right? Number sisters, which okay, we got sisters on the coin, but there's never been a black man on the coin. That got to make you think, like why have y'all just skipped? Because there's never even been a white woman on the coin. Well, there has, haven't there? Susan B. Anthony or something like that. But it started with the man, and then it went to the white woman, then it goes to the black woman. You see, they're doing this on purpose to keep the household out of order. But all these heathen nations have their household in order. The woman knows that her man is the head, and he's the protector of the family. But here they give us stuff like women be independent. You know, all my independent women. You know, we don't need this, we don't need that. We don't need a man. And then we be sitting with babies and having babies with multiple men and not having nobody to protect us. Talking about, oh, we can do it on our own. When I know a lot of sisters don't want to do it on their own. Don't nobody want to do it on their own. It's a hell of a burden to carry. You know, you got a baby, you got babies, whatever. Even without babies and children, it's a hell of a burden to carry when it's just you. It's hard in this world right now. You know what I'm saying? So, Salakia, go ahead and we're at Numbers 30 and what was that? All right, read 30 and 7 again, Bubba Chuck.
Okay. Numbers 30 and 7. And her husband heard it and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it.
Again, the husband hears his vow, just like the father heard the vow, but the husband, he held his peace. He didn't say nothing. He agreed to it, because if you hold your peace, in essence, you're agreeing. You see what I'm saying? So the husband did not say anything. He heard his wife make these vows, didn't say anything. Go ahead.
Then her vows shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand.
There you go. All right, so there, if her husband doesn't disagree with it or stop it, it's going to stand. That's what it is, even if she can't cook. Most High in Christ for the sisters we have in the school, boy, because we always eat well. So the water to y'all. You know what I'm saying? You come through and we appreciate it. All right. So go ahead and read verse 8, Bible shot in the Hebrew.
Gonna call this book of Numbers, chapter 30, verse 8 in Hebrew. Watham Bayawam Shemai Ayasha Yana Ya Iwa Da Wayapar Na Dara Ashar Al Yaha Ya Adon Maba Saf Napas Ya Ashar I Tarha Al Napash Ya Yahawah Yas Ta Laka La'a verse 9 Wa Nai Dar Allah Ma Nai Flocky La Ma Na Ha Wa Gal Ra Wa Shah Kal Ashar A Taha Al Napash Wa Kwa Yum Al Yaha verse 10 Wa Atham Na Ya Ayash Na Dara Awa Na Taha Atar Al Napash Bashar Ba Shammai verse 11 Wa Shammai I Yash Wa I Karash Laha La'a Ha Nayaf A Ata Wa Kwa Mawa Kal Now Dar Yaha Wakal Atar Ashar Atar Ha Al Napash Wakoyam verse 12 Watham Hapar Yapar Atham Ayash Boy Yawam Washamai Wa Kal Marwa Taza'a Shapaf Yaf La'ai Dar Yaha Wala Atar Napash La'a Yakoyam I Yash Harparium Wa Yahawah Wa Talak verse 13 Kal Nadar Wakal, Shab'ai, I, Tar, Atar, Al, the Tha, the Pash, I, Yash, Yakwa, Ya Mawa, Ya I, Shah, Ya Par Nawa. Verse 14. Wa Thum Al Karash, Ya Karyash, Laha Al Wayash, Ma Wayam, Allah, Yawam, Wa I Koyam, Oth Kal, Nadar Yaha, Awa Oth Kal Ha, Tar Ya, Ashar, Al Ya, Ha Koyam, Adam, Kaya, Ha Karash, La'a, Bayawam, Shamaywa.
Good job. Pipe it up. We're going to start at verse 8 in the English. So Salakia, just the let me see. Go ahead and read verse 8, and I'll make my point.
Numbers 30 and 8. But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it,
so Salakia, if the husband disallowed her, so if the husband intervened, it was like, nah, hey, baby, we know that chicken is not hitting like you saying it's hitting. All right, so go ahead.
Okay. But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul of none effect, and the Lord shall forgive her.
Read that verse again for me, Papa.
Okay. Numbers 30 and 8. But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul of none effect.
All right, so if the husband again disallows her, it takes none effect. All right, so that vow is no more. It didn't even start. It didn't even begin. Okay, because the husband didn't agree with you. Go ahead.
And the Lord shall forgive her.
And the Lord shall forgive her for that. All right, is that the end of that verse?
All right,
so check this out. We already discussed what a vow is, and to be bound to that vow. All right. So, hey, sis, you know what a vow is?
I think I do.
Go ahead.
I think about it when, like, you make a pledge with your lips, saying that you, like you said, going forward, that we say every, for example, you said with the sisters, we say every Saturday, no matter what, we're going to bring food in. So just someone vowing to do something.
A vow is a promise, you know. So, what's what? A vow is like a pledge you make with your mouth, just like you said, okay? So with the vow is like when you get that oil poured on your head, okay? You're taking a vow for the school, okay? And you know what a bond is? Bond is like a contract, okay? So that is what bonds you to it. All right, it's all in the word. Bonds you to your vow, okay? So bond is like a contract. All right, and so what? In a nutshell, what's going on is it's letting you know that a woman cannot make. Oh, go ahead, sis.
So like you said, so I had a question. So I've heard a lot of the Israelite sisters, not necessarily in the school. So say that when they got with their husband, well, I made him make a vow that I was going to be his only rib. So I guess they're using this scripture to.
This vow is to the Lord.
This to the Lord. Okay.
Yeah,
so
this is not to the wife.
Okay.
Matter of fact, it's saying it's right here. It's like we read earlier, 1 Corinthians 11:3. The head of Christ is the Most High. The head of man is Christ, and the head of woman is man. Okay, so no, that a man. In a nutshell, what these scriptures is telling you here in Numbers is that a woman cannot make a move without her husband's approval. It's not vice versa. That's Christianity again. Okay, that's getting things out of order. All right, so you hear sisters saying that online or something like that? Oh boy. I would say get them a flyer, but I don't even want them in here. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Lord Christ, sir. You want the class? Okay. All right, so like, you had another question? All right, go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 9. But every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, wherewith they have bound their souls, shall stand against her.
So every vow of a widow or her that is divorced shall stand against her. So why do you think the vow of a widow or the vow of a woman that is divorced shall stand against her? Shall stand for the most part. So she makes a vow, she can't get out of that. Why would that be for a woman who's divorced or a woman that's widowed?
Stop here, sir. Because she asked me.
Hang on a second. It's like scissors. Nothing. All right, go ahead.
Stop because she has no husband.
And give me a little more.
Because she has no husband, and her husband cannot. She has no husband, and she's not with her father. Ain't there? Nobody, no man is there to disallow her vow.
Yeah. So you're right. So she has no head. Okay. No head to, stop and say, hey, no, you this and the third. She no head. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 10. And if she vowed in her husband's house, or bound her soul by a bond with an oath. Verse 11. And her husband heard it, and held his peace at her, and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand.
So again, if that husband, if a sister does have a husband and she makes a vow, and her husband hears it and don't say anything about it, same thing as if the father didn't say anything about it. It's gonna stand. It's what it is, and then it's gonna continue. Go ahead, keep reading.
Okay. And every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. Verse 12. For her husband hath utterly made them void on the day he heard them. Then whatsoever proceeded out of her lips concerning her vows, or concerning the bond of her soul, shall not stand.
Mm-hmm. So if her husband made them void, if he said, hey, no, we ain't doing this like you said earlier. If he says no, it's a no-go. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Her husband hath made them void, and the Lord shall forgive her.
Mm-hmm.
Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void.
So her husband has the right to establish these vows for her to keep them, or to void them. Okay? But he has to do it within a certain time. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 14. But if her husband altogether hold his peace at her from day to day.
Mm-hmm. So if the husband holds his peace, hearing her make these vows, say she made the vow today, and he holds his peace from day to day. He goes on to the next day, holds his peace. Go ahead.
Okay. Then he establisheth all her vows.
So if he holds his peace, he's co-signing on those vows like it's good. It's good. Okay. Go ahead.
Or all her bonds, which are upon her. He confirmeth them, because he held his peace at her in the day that he heard them.
Okay. So he confirms these vows if he holds his peace. Go ahead.
Verse 15. But if he shall any ways make them void after that he hath heard them, then he shall hear her iniquity.
Read that again.
Okay. Verse 15. But if he shall any ways make them void after that he hath heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity.
Right. So if he try to make them void a day later, 2 days later, after he had heard them, like, on second thought, I was thinking about this overnight. And you're not going to do that. He shall bear her iniquity. He's going to be the one up for the punishment, okay? Go ahead. Any questions? Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 16. These are the statutes which the Lord commanded Moses between a man and his wife.
So these are the statutes these are the statutes which the Lord commanded Moses between man and his wife. Go ahead.
Between the father and his daughter.
Between the father and his daughter. Go ahead.
Being yet in her youth in her father's house.
All right. Any questions? That was pretty cut and dry, right? It's like, this is what it is. It even repeats itself, so there is no question. All right, so basically, again, in a nutshell, a woman cannot make a move without her husband's approval or her father's approval if she's in her father's home. All right, the Christian church will teach opposite of that. The Christian church is like, hey, you're your own woman, independent woman. And they only teach that to our people. They don't teach that in the heathens church. They don't teach that in the oppressors Christian church. They don't. They got an order in there, but they want to give us green leaf. You know what I'm saying? Where the mama's running around all over, out of order. The daughter is out of order, and I'm sluggy. It's reality in our world. In our churches, okay? But in the oppressor church, it's not even like that. They have an order. You look at old blinky-eyed Joe Osteen, right? The man with the he looked like he got dry contact lenses. He'd be blinking all the time. You look at him, his wife know her place. There's an order. And as soon as we get back to that order, there's going to be less friction between husband and wife. Family's going to be happy. There's going to be less breakups, less divorces, and fatherless households, even motherless households. You know what I'm saying? So we just need to stop letting the oppressor meddle in our business and guide us. But with that, go ahead. We're going to close out the class. So, men up, we're going. Yeah.
Yasha'Allah.
Majum, if you will, upon Hapadam, which means face the east. We're going to send up these prayers.
In the Lord, pray in Hebrew. Abanaw.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kodash. Ayah. Shamka. Yahweh. Malabuka. Daba'ah. Razayka. Ayah. Asha. Barataza. Kawan. Ayah. Bashamayim. Nathanael. Nakam. Cow. Yuwam. Wasanakina. Kawapina. Kasnakina. Kawapina. Wala'ah. Daba'ayna. now.
Abayayanaw.
Barishai one.
Manisai one.
Abal.
Abal.
Awashai now.
Awashayanaw.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Rak.
Rak.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Lakar.
Lakar.
Amalakwa.
Amalakwa.
Amala.
Wa'ala.
Amatal Paraf.
Wahatapara.
Wa'al Layam.
Wa'al Awalam.
Aman.
Aman. It's the Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. We forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. So be it. All right, sorry, Mr. Turn. All right, ladies, if you will. See, you got it, bro. All right, we're gonna give a courtesy salute. Oh, Salaki, yeah, you go ahead and do this. You good, Salaki.
This the ISUPK security announcement. With the ISUPK start off 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister come to the school, they are limited for 6 months. They're here to be saluted only. They're here to set themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. In the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. My Isra means 10 in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the church department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offer for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you like to give. Our next holy convocation is the Feast of Purim. It's going to start at February 14th to February 15th. That's Monday and Tuesday. If you're not here on February 14th, I'm assuming that you celebrate Valentine's Day. You might get that disgusting deal to a brother or sister. They're going to end up cheating on you. So you might as well just come in the building, you know what I'm saying, get sanctified by the Lord. Really appreciate you. Remind Uncle I walk him to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Boots, shirt, pads, headband, and scarf. And one thing you should do before you go to the school, make sure you do this address, your GPS, your Waze, wherever your GPS app you like to use. And the address is 3353 Glenville Road, Decatur, Georgia. With that, men of Israel are mighty. Give one salute to the men in the building and also to the teachers. Men of Israel, a mighty Sabbath, a mighty rock. Yahweh Shabbat. What I just said to you in the Hebrew, the Lashon Kadash, in the Most High, in the name of Christ, bless you. Yah in the top, me hands down. Sister saying, sorry, me turn. Sister. We'll give one curse salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, a mighty Sabbath, a mighty rock. Yahweh Shema El Dam B'Hashem Yahushua.
Yahweh Shema El Dam B'Hashem Yahushua.
Well, I just said to you, may the Most High, in the name of Christ, watch over you. Yah in the top, me hands down. Bless you.